All right, Nikki, I think we're good to go, right? All right, so welcome everyone. I'm Crystal de Villanueva, the Learning and Development Specialist here at Lumu, and I'm very happy to be your host today. All right, so in today's session, we have Nicole Ibarra, the Director of Product Marketing, who's going to show us the latest features of the new Lumu free account. All right, so before we get started with the session, I want to do a quick intro and summary about Lumu. All right, so here at Lumu, we come in three different forms. Oops, excuse me. We come in Lumu Free, Lumu Insights, and Lumu Defender. So for today's session, we're going to be covering the new features of the Lumu Free account. So with the Lumu Free account, we have confirmed compromise visibility. You'll have full access to hands-on experience with the Lumu portal, real-time DNS, firewall, proxy log, cloud-based ingestion, as well as access to one customer collector via API, and of course, the ability to set up two public gateways. All right, the next level of Lumu is Lumu Insights. And with Lumu Insights, you get full access to granular visibility of confirmed IOCs. You get unlimited virtual appliance data collectors. You'll also receive enhanced strategic compromise intelligence. You'll also have the option for a desktop lightweight agent, and of course, network flow and spam box integration. And then, of course, our very top tier of Lumu, which is Lumu Defender. So with Lumu Defender, you get all of these features that you get from Insights, plus these additional features of automated response API, custom and out-of-the-box integrations, extended data retention, and playback. All right. Okay, so as we move on to our presentation today, we're going to do just a quick overview. So with today's presentation, Nikki's going to cover some of the new features of the new Lumu Free account, how to open a Lumu Free account. The steps are a little bit more different from those people who've already opened account versus how it's set up now. First configurations, labels, and how to invite teammates to the account, and also, of course, how to start seeing traffic and compromises. All right, so I want to welcome Nikki to the stage. Nikki, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Very excited to show everyone all of the new features of the new account. All right, so I'm just going to hand it over to Nikki. Nikki, it's all yours.
Thank you, Crystal Day. I appreciate that. So we're very, very excited to show you the new version of Lumu Free today. So we're going to walk through, as Crystal Day mentioned, the step-by-step process. We're going to do that demo very shortly. But before that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the evolution of Lumu Free and sort of how we got here, right? This version is based on, feedback from our more than 2,300 customers. And it's also based on our, foundational belief that any organization should be able to, and really, at this point in time, must operate cybersecurity with proficiency, and with accuracy, regardless of the industry and regardless of the size of the organization. So we truly believe, that no matter who you are, it's incredibly important to operate cybersecurity in some capacity, right? It is a fact that a compromised network behaves differently than one that is not. And so, with Lumu Free, we now offer this enhanced visibility to make that a reality for all types of organizations. So to achieve this vision, the new version now offers additional metadata feeds that we didn't have before. So before, Lumu Free offered visibility via DNS through public gateways, but now our customers can see even more. With the new Lumu Free, you can leverage firewall information, proxy information, and there's a lot more flexibility in the deployment with the ability to configure via virtual appliances, as well as the public gateways. So these features are available to our existing Lumu Free customers, to new Lumu Free customers, and again, it comes at no cost. This is our freemium offering, offering cybersecurity to everybody at no cost ever to your organization. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen, but before I do that, I'm actually going to turn my camera off so that my network is not interrupted here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so let's access the Lumu website here. And to get started, you'll just click here, get a free account, and begin just the process of filling out your information. And we enter. All right, and then just go ahead and register there. Now at this point, you should receive an email into your inbox. So let me just get that on my side. And let me just refresh here. Okay. So again, you'll receive an activation link to your website. Will look something like this. And then from here, you can go ahead and activate your account. So we will just go ahead and log in. I will use my demo credentials here. All right, and so this is the setup process. It's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Just a few options, and you'll go ahead and get started. So whether or not you're able to deploy from a virtualized machine, in my case, I am able to, so click that. I want to collect firewall, proxy, DNS metadata. The great thing about Lumu Free now is that we have more options for metadata collection. We have that firewall, the proxy collection, in addition, obviously, to the DNS. So in the purpose, for the purpose of this particular demo, we're going to collect DNS metadata. And then here you have 3 options as well. So you have that flexibility between using Lumu as your primary DNS resolver, which is, acts as a forwarder. You can also collect metadata from your DNS server. So you can extract those queries from your own environment, or forward the metadata from your DNS logs. So you can do that syslog forwarding as well. So as you can see, you have various different options here. For the purpose of our demo, I'm just going to use Lumu as the primary DNS and select next. So now what you're able to do is name your virtual appliance in a way that you're able to identify it, right? So, for the purpose of this, I'll just name it something like Nikki. And create. And then you'll be given this activation code. You may want to hold on to it. I like to copy it and just paste it somewhere else, just in case you will need it in the process of configuring your virtual environment. So now you can select the hypervisor that you want to download for your virtual appliance. We have VirtualBox, VMware, Hyper-V, so we have a few different options there. I will be doing the VirtualBox download. Now, I already have this environment set up, so to avoid kind of that delay in the process, I have it already set up in my virtual machine. So we can get started in sort of the process of configuring on this side. Now, one of the things that we have here that I do want to mention before getting started, we have various deployment guides. We have different articles that can help you through this. The process is fairly straightforward, but there's a ton of great information here. So again, if you ever need help walking through the process, we're always here to help, but there's documentation here with the little question mark here at the bottom. So just for reference. But I'll just walk you through the process. Again, fairly straightforward. You have the login in this case, Appliance admin, same here. Won't show the password, but it is entering. And then at this point, we're going to activate our virtual appliance. So first, I'm going to start by stopping it. And then we're going to reinitiate it once this finishes loading here. I'm curious while we wait for this, I wanted to take a quick poll. So how many of you guys have tried to set up a Lumu free account? Just curious. So you want to answer the poll there while we wait for some of this. We'll take a look in a second at what those results are. Let me just type the next command here. All right, let's take a look at those poll results. Looks to me, okay, so it looks like 62% have not yet, and we have 38% have. Nice. All right, so back to our virtual box here. Tab. Okay, it's gonna ask if we want to configure a proxy. In this case, we're going to say no. Keep the DNS, yes, and lastly, yes. It's going to take a few seconds here. Just give it a couple more seconds, should be all ready to go. All right, so now I'm going to add my activation code. It is just slightly different than the way that you will do it, just because I had this environment set up from before, but you will just go ahead and activate your code. And my code is, this is the one that we copied just slightly before. So again, it'll be very similar process for you, but I believe it will likely be in the beginning. All right, so it looks like it was successfully activated. And at this point, what we like to do is send some test data through the command and control server. So let me just open that up here and begin the process of sending some test data here. All right. Okay, now we can send traffic through this configuration here. So let's send traffic to a few different addresses here. I'm going to send it to this activity.lumu.io a few times. This is a known IOC for testing purposes that we have at Lumu. So you can send, I don't know, you can just send maybe 5 or so connections to that same address. You can also send good traffic to websites like Google, just for reference, just to send some more data there. And you know, whatever it is, you can enter any website there and just send data. So at this point, what we can do, we're going to go back to our Lumu screen here and test that configuration. So we'll go back to our environment here. It says it takes up to 3 minutes. It's usually much less. So let's give it a couple seconds. All right, and now you are in your Lumu demo environment. So, or your Lumu portal environment rather, my demo environment. So once you're here, the first thing I kind of like to take a look at is the virtual appliance. Make sure that that is up and running. So again, if you think back, this is that virtual appliance we initially set up at the beginning of the process. It's activated, good to go. If we click on the appliance itself, you'll just see some of the information associated here. Okay, so one of the things that I also wanted to show is the labels. So what this does is it essentially allows your organization to prioritize events according to their level of relevance, according to your business tolerance. So to your threat tolerance. So basically you can create a test label, for example, give it a classification, again, according to the level of severity, and then you can describe it as test label for virtual appliance and create that label. So then all events associated with that virtual appliance will now be labeled according to that, that level that you've given it. So we can go back to the collectors, go back to our virtual appliance, and then we're going to associate that label with this appliance. So we edit here. We can make sure that all of the activity associated with it is labeled with that test label that we just created. Update it. And then I am actually going to send a bit more traffic just so that we have it labeled properly when we take a look at these events. So this is going to send a bit more information, more traffic. I'm going to refresh the portal here. And now we go to, let's say, incidents. And as you can see, this is, we generated traffic to other websites that weren't IOCs, but we have an incident associated with that one known IOC, which is the activity.lumu.io. And again, as you can see that the label was also noted here that we just created. So again, it allows for that prioritization and that ability to see, what's most relevant quickly. And then you can even see more about this particular event in the compromised context area. So this gives you, a lot more information, a little more granular level of visibility about this particular IOC and the contact that it's made with, resources across your organization. You see 34 contacts here. When the contact was made, some context as well. So you can export this information as you need it. Now I can go back to the incidents tab, and I'm actually going to send some activity to another IOC that will give us, it's like a little bit more context in these events. So let me try. Send a few events there. All right, and then there it is. So we have our other event here. Like I mentioned, we see that label again for one that we just created for this new event. This is another IOC with more context. The other one that we were using is just kind of our Lumu testing one, just to send some traffic, make sure that the IOCs are being properly flagged here. But you see this other known IOC, and the compromised context has some more information there. So you see the amount of contact that it's had with assets in your organization. Then you can also see under context here a lot more information. So we have, articles about this particular IOC, you have related files, you have information about a little bit of context about what that IOC is associated with. You can download all of this information just for your records and to be able to take action and block any communication with it in the future, right? From your firewall, proxy, antivirus, so that, you guys can take action and make sure that your organization is not making contact with those IOCs. So certainly a nice level of visibility that you're provided with here. So essentially that's the Lumu portal at a high level, and that's how you set up your Lumu free account. It's fairly straightforward. We have more information gathering methods than we did before, so you got the ability to cover more than we were able to in the past. The other thing that you can do is invite other members of your organization to join you here. Here in the settings under accounts, you can add users. So anybody else from your organization, you can add them as users in the portal so that they can also come in here and take a look at what's going on to be able to take that decisive action pretty quickly. So you can give them a role according to the privileges that you want them to have. Admin has full total control, and then the user has more kind of a viewing access ability. All right, so that is our Lumu free demo, guys. Thank you, and I will pass it back over to Crystal Day.
All right, Nicole, thank you so much for that presentation. Well, I want to thank everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for your time. I saw some of your beautiful faces this morning, so it was lovely to see some of you join us today. Nikki, thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.